This guy checks all the boxes.
Welcome to the wrap-up presented by ALLSTATE. I am your host, Skubie Mageza, with my boy, AJ McCarron, three-time national champion. How's it going, my guy?
Excited.
Yeah, week 5, the madness is continuing, and we just saw some madness as this game is wrapping up. We thought we were about to see the upset of the year. Whew. Georgia and Missouri, that game just wrapped up, and we're going to give you a quick recap of what happened. They were down 22-19 late in the fourth, and Dejon Edwards gets the call and punches in the touchdown as the Bulldogs take their first lead of the game. We had our eye on this game all the way through until we got onto the air. Georgia looking to ice the game right here after getting the ball back. They get the first down. That's a wrap. They survive and beat Missouri 26-22. This game was a lot closer than it should have been. They trailed by double digits at halftime. You don't see that from Georgia quite often. Stetson Bennett, slow start, but how does he finish with 312 yards on the game? Brady Cook was doing all that he could do, 20 for 30, 292 yards, but AJ, a tight game for Georgia here and what could have been the biggest upset of the year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Georgia, you got to be a little worried. That's 2 weeks in a row. Defense hasn't played well. Offense has been slow. They just threw the ball so many times. I mean, Stetson Bennett doesn't usually throw the ball 43 times a game. No. And to throw the ball 43 times a game means that the running game there for Georgia was non-existent tonight. So they got to find a way to get the running game back, establish that, and help the play action pass so they can get some more explosive plays on this offense. Yeah,
they had to rely on 3 different guys to run the ball, all under 70 yards rushing. So Georgia avoided the upset, and that would have shaken up our entire show, but it didn't. However, we're still going to have a great show. And today is National Hair Day. So happy National Hair Day to all the people with the great mops out there. I've been going out mine for a little bit. So let's give a quick shout out to those who are rocking some dope hair. We got Mike Gundy. He's always got some dope hair. How about Quinn Ewers? I haven't seen him in a minute. And Grant Mertz. Him showing off his hair, but it looks like he's trying to grow something out.
He's got the wings going
on his face. But we got some honorable mentions here as well. Let's see what we got.
Wow.
This is how they doing this. This is how they doing this. They put the filter. First off, I just want to say you look great.
I know. I was about to say, dadgum, I look pretty freaking good, don't I?
You look. Maybe you should rock the bald head. You gotta wear the cap all the time, man.
I got some pretty hair under here. My wife does a great job of cutting my hair. I definitely can't go bald.
Well, shout out to our producers for putting stuff together like that.
Yeah, that was a little surprise there.
It's always awesome when they surprise us on set with those little fun tidbits. But now it's time for us to shout out and recap the things that happened today with our Saturday Shoutouts. And we're gonna start off with our biggest flex. In the job description for Cosmo Cougar of BYU, they must have the physical capabilities needed of being this mascot to be one of a large cat. I'm talking like the strength here, the explosion. Dude. In a mascot uniform?
How yoked is he? And doing one-arm push-ups.
What is the waiver that he had to sign? And then, hold on, watch him finish this off. So smooth. Like, yo, I does this because I'm different. My.
Yoked.
He is the coolest mascot.
Oh, by far.
The entire nation. He's like, now I need to go up and show y'all that I'm not even tired. The glasses and all. Maybe in Alabama.
He's got the ski goggles on, and the whole outfit's sick. Okay, like he's by far the best mascot in college football.
Hands down, he is definitely one of the freshest mascots. But he's not the most fresh. In our next Saturday shoutout, my boy said, look, I have a game at noon, but I also got a haircut appointment at 12:05. So on National Hair Day, hook me up, my boy. I mean, it looks like he's doing them good. I hope he tipped his barber up well. Line me up. Air Force, I mean, you got to stay clean over there, right?
Listen, you got to know what you're doing if you're cutting a white guy's hair with just straight clippers. There's no scissors involved.
Where's the straight edge? I'm trying to see. I mean, the straight edge.
Yeah,
is
you got to get the line up. Got to get the line up.
All right, we got our next one, best celebration. And after Ole Miss got the game-defying play to end it, how about we take a look into the coach's press box? That's how you celebrate. Let it all hang out, including the belly. That's Chris Partridge, their DC. I mean, Ken Dorsey. This is how you celebrate.
Yeah.
In the booth. You gotta love that, right?
That's awesome. Great win for Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin. My buddy Kevin Norwood, who played receiver for me at Alabama, is a assistant there. Awesome win for them. I think they'll be in the top 10.
Huge win. We even talked about they might need a shout out in the top 5. You know what I mean? All right. Most painful. And if you like fingers that look straight, you may want to look away from this because Will Levis's finger is doing the Harlem Shake here. He got sacked, and after this, this is how it looked like. I don't think it's supposed to bend that way, AJ. I don't think your finger is supposed to do that.
They were arguing, and one said, listen, bro, I'm going this way. And the other one said, no, we're going this way. And so they ended up splitting. But
have you ever messed your finger up to that degree? Oh, my Lord.
And please.
I play wide receiver. I've had some pretty bad finger injuries, especially in the cold, but never that bad. No. God forbid. God forbid. All right, our last one. We got best catch, and you're not going to see anything as good as this for the rest of this weekend. Check it out. Javian Lofton says, I catch.
Most.
Sit down. Yes, OBJ, hold my drink. I didn't need to fall down. I just caught this because like ALLSTATE, I got you in good hands. H-I-M him.
That was an unreal catch.
You don't see too many. You know what's real when they catch it and they just keep it in their hand the whole time.
It just stays in the fingertips the whole time.
Oh, man, cold-blooded.
That was nasty.
All right, that was a Rick James, Dave Chappelle cold-blooded reference right there for those who know out there in the audience. All right, moving on. We got our Mayhem Moment because it's time now for our Mayhem Moment from today's action brought to you by ALLSTATE, and it comes from the Alabama versus Arkansas game. Bryce Young went down with what they're calling a sprained AC joint in his shoulder. He left the game. Arkansas then went on to score 16 unanswered in the third quarter and cut the lead to 5 in the fourth. However, there's a bad man that goes by the name of Jahmyr Gibbs, and he put the team on his back like the name on his jersey. That was a 72-yard touchdown run. This is a 76-yard touchdown run. He had over 200 yards rushing, and Alabama gets a win 49-26. But the big story coming out of this game is Bryce Young's health. And Nick Saban did say he is day-to-day, and he's dealt with an injury like this before. He should be fine. However, AJ, we were speaking before the show. You said you've gone through the same injury, and when you saw it happen in the game, you automatically pointed out knowing what it was. And not only that, the irony of this, you experienced this same injury against the same team. What was your experience like recovering?
Yeah, listen, it's going to be depending on the grade of it, but I knew as soon as I saw him fall with your arm extended, you expose the shoulder, AC joint, labrum, it's all exposed. So it's a very tough injury. It's just a lingering pain. So lifting up the arm during the week, falling asleep at night, if you fall, you're a sleeper on your right side, makes it tough. But he's in the best hands in the country under Jeff Allen, that training staff at Alabama, Dr. Kane. So, but he will have to be shot up before each game.
That was going to be my next question. You were telling me before we got on air that you essentially had to get a shot in your shoulder throughout the rest of the season. I mean, what was that experience like, having to basically not throw the entire week and then get shot up right before the game?
Yeah, it's tough. That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see what grade, Bryce's sprain is, because mine was bad enough to where I didn't throw a pass for the remainder of the year. Now, this happened against Arkansas, my first year starting, 4th game of the year, 7th play of the game. But for the remainder of the year, and we played in the national championship that year against LSU and won it. But after that game, the Arkansas game, I didn't throw a pass all week long in practice.
Sheesh.
And so I would do nothing but handoffs, go through my reads, progressions for the pass plays, and then I would get shot up when I got to the stadium the day of the game on Saturday, and then go out and throw for the first time in warm-ups all week long. So It's going to make for a tough year depending on how bad it is.
Well, one thing is for sure, the Alabama coaching and training staff has dealt with this injury before, and they know how to maintain it. But going forward, things don't get easier for Alabama when we take a look at their schedule with Bryce Young down. Next, they will be taking on Texas A&M. And then that October 15th game right there, Tennessee, really interesting. We'll see how Hendon Hooker does against this Alabama defense, and how the Alabama offense goes against Tennessee. And I'm interested because it's going to be a quarterback battle, which brings us to our next segment. All right, the best part about having a quarterback on the show is he knows what he's talking about. He's seen a thing or two, and some quarterbacks, they think they know the game. They're kind of on the C list, they're on the B list, but not everybody is on AJ's A list. So what we're going to do is rank AJ's top 5 quarterbacks so far coming into week 5. So AJ, starting at number 5, who do you have that's impressed you the most?
At number 5, I'm going with the young man out of North Carolina, Drake May.
Okay, let's go.
I think Drake has done an unbelievable job this year. 69% completion percentage, a little over 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception so far this year through 5 games. As a young quarterback, he is playing well, taking care of the football. I'm excited about Drake May.
Oh, man, to start off the season, right off the scene, that game that they had against App State, it was just fireworks consistently through. Everyone keeps saying he's an NFL talent, and we're seeing that come to life on the field. So that's the first person on AJ's A-list. Who's going next in at number 4?
Number 4, a school that I don't like a whole lot, but he's playing well.
Who we got?
Hendon Hooker from Tennessee.
Oh, Hooker? I don't know her. That's a joke that everyone keeps bringing up. But go ahead.
But listen, Tennessee and Hendon Hooker are playing well this year. They're pushing the ball down the field. He's doing a great job of taking care of the football. 72% completion percentage on the year, a little over almost 1,200 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's having a phenomenal start to this year.
Yeah, this week was his bye. I'm almost kind of upset that we didn't get to see his incredible talent on the field. We saw what he did last week. It was almost like a huge upset for that team. They celebrated, they stormed the field. Hendon Hooker is taking over the college scene, but he's only at number 4. I'm a little bit curious to see what you got at 1, 2, 3. 3 is my favorite number. Who do you have there?
Even though they haven't played anybody all year, they might as well be playing high school teams. I got C.J. Stroud from Ohio State.
Okay, C.J. Stroud, the Heisman favorite coming into the season.
70% completion percentage, 1,376 yards on the year, 18 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. The dude is playing well. I don't care if he's playing his little brother, his sister, whoever. He's taking care of the football. They're scoring a lot of points. They're in an explosive offense under C.J. Stroud right now.
5 touchdowns in 3 straight games. Before this season started, the big thought and the big thing was this offense is going to be historic. A little bit of a slow start out the gate against Notre Dame, but they picked it up. And I'll even say it was a little bit of a slow start today against Rutgers, but they picked it up, still put up numbers. Here we are. We're in the top 2. I think some people would argue that this list needs to be mixed up, but let's keep it going. Who else is on AJ's A-list?
At number 2, Roll Tide, baby.
Oh, number 2 though?
Bryce Young.
Number 2.
Right now.
Okay.
Could
All right,
change.
We'll throw him up there.
Bryce, 68% completion percentage, 1,202 yards, 14 TDs, 3 interceptions. He's had a little more interceptions at this pace of the year than he did last year, but dude is still playing well. Had a Heisman moment against Texas on the corner cat. They thought they had him. I'm excited about what Bryce is doing right now.
And the way that he was playing against Arkansas until he went down, the man was on pace to have 500 yards passing in that game had he not went down. So hopefully Bryce is back, healthy, feeling good, because we still want to see him cook up defense. But now the time has come. The number 1 quarterback on AJ's A-list, and mind you, this was coming into week 5.
Yeah. After tonight, it's going to change. But coming into this week, for me, it was Stetson Bennett and the Georgia Bulldogs.
All right.
Stetson's has played very well. I felt like last year's national championship game against Alabama just gave him an all-time high boost of confidence. He showed that coming in, opening game of the year against Oregon, played lights out, kept playing well. They've kind of struggled last week, and then going into tonight against Missouri. Next week's list is definitely going to change.
Well, there you have it. You think you're on the C list, you think you're on the B list, but you're most definitely not on AJ's A-list if you're not one of these 5 guys. Appreciate you, AJ, for just dropping some knowledge for us. And earlier today, we saw some knowledge dropped on us that indicated Oklahoma is not them. They are not that team, but you know who is that team? TCU, and their celebration after that blowout win was a thing of beauty.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Rip, rap, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo. Ooh, wow, wow, ooh. Give 'em hell, TCU. Rip, rap, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo. Ooh, wow, wow, ooh. Give 'em hell, TCU. Rip, rap, bazoo. Lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo. Ooh, wow, wow, ooh. Give 'em hell, TCU.
Energy. Love that. Now let's check out the unbeatable performances from today, brought to you by Xfinity. And TCU had one hell of a game against 18th ranked Oklahoma. The Horned Frogs are unranked, but they're also undefeated. Max Duggan was doing his Dougie all over the field. 73-yard touchdown pass to Tay Barber there as he cut the defense up like the barber cut my hair up last week. And then the guy who throws the ball can also run it. Duggan, the track star in high school, is also a track star on the football field. 67-yard touchdown run to become just the 2nd player in the last 15 years with a 60-yard touchdown pass and a 60-yard rushing touchdown in the first quarter since Lamar Jackson. That's a hell of a company to be a part of. TCU led 41-17 at halftime with 479 yards while finishing with 688 yards in Coach Sonny Dykes' Big 12 debut after 4 seasons at crosstown rival SMU. And everybody on Twitter was saying, who's going to get to 62 first? Is it Aaron Judge or is it TCU? Because they finished with 55 points. That is the 2nd most Oklahoma has allowed in a game against an unranked opponent in program history. And I will finish with a fun fact. Offensive coordinator at TCU, brother of Lincoln Riley. His name, Garrett Riley, and he was tortured.
He was dialing them up.
Man, what do you think of this game? Just complete blowout, and I tried to bet for Oklahoma this game, lost some money.
Yeah, I'm thinking Coach Venables wishes he would have stayed at Clemson. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe they're hoping they can get out of the SEC contract now. All kind of things could be running through their head, but listen, Oklahoma has played bad on defense 2 weeks in a row. The offense hasn't really done anything either. They are not looking good right now. now your whole year is packed up. You're playing for the Red River rivalry against Texas. That's about it, because you're out of the college football playoff talk with 2 losses. But what about Max Duggan today?
The Dougie.
I mean, 23 of 33 for 302 yards and 3 TDs.
What a day.
Unreal.
What a day.
Congrats to you, Max. Like, unreal day. TCU's offense, explosive, fun to watch. I'm looking forward to them in the remainder of the year.
And we were looking forward to this game as well, because we had Clemson taking on NC State for the first time ever. And after a slow start in the game, Clemson leads 6-3, but NC State in the red zone here. Devin Leary completes a pass to Seth Seaborough, and they take a 10-6 lead. The top 10 matchup for the first time ever. We love to see it. But Clemson wasn't ready to go away. They were trailing going into halftime and found themselves in the red zone with 31 seconds left on the clock. DJ Uiagalelei is going to stretch it out and get himself in the end zone. Clemson goes into halftime with the 13-10 lead at that point. Then after forcing a 3-and-out to start the second half, the Tigers got back to striking zone. And yes, DJ playing his favorite hit called TD by Jake Bringstool. Clemson goes up by 2 possessions early in the third. Then after a bit of a lull in action with 3 minutes left in the game, the Tigers wanted to leave, no doubt. And it's a 3rd down for DJ, and he takes it in himself. They get the 17-point lead there. NC State would get another touchdown in garbage time with less than a minute left, but they lose 30-20. DJ with another solid game coming off a career-high performance against Wake. This Clemson offense is starting to roll. The defense did not have one of their best players as he sat out because of an injury, but here they are. The offense has stepped up. What do you have to say about their performance? I know you have your thoughts about NC State as an opponent, but they handled business for the Tigers.
Yeah, they did. And this is what I wanted to see from Clemson. I picked them to win the game, but they had all the settings to make it a fun and exciting game for their fans and a big win for them and their university, right? They needed that this year. It's kind of been just a lull. And I think DJ playing well right now, going 21 of 30 for 209, 1 passing, 2 rushing touchdowns is a huge step for him and probably a big confidence boost for him going forward.
Oh, yeah.
Because he hadn't really had that kind of game this year, and especially in a big-time, big spotlight game.
Yeah, I picked Clemson as the 4th best team in the country last week. Just saying. But DJ had himself a heck of a game, and if you had him on your fantasy team, you would have been happy, which leads us to the competition that we have with our digital crew every single week, our Fantasy Eliminator. As a reminder, we each pick 1 player. You can only choose that player once this season, and then we see how they score fantasy football style. This is who everybody picked. And just a quick little highlight. You see Hendon Hooker, Christine Williamson. He's on a bye week, Christine. Why'd you pick Hooker? So she gets a big old egg for points. And hey, AJ, I see how you did there. You picked Gibbs. That's a heck of a pick to have this week. So as we check out our standings heading into this week, Christine is in first place. That shall be no more, as your boy Skubie is probably in first place. AJ,
I'm getting sabotaged.
You are creeping up in there. We will continue to update you on these fantasy standings because competition is what we do here. It's spooky season, October 1st. It is that time, and AJ, I know you're such a fan of Halloween, aren't you?
I love it.
Yes.
I really do. It's awesome.
Which means we're going to play a little game here, right? We're going to rank some of the teams' season and their futures based on our spooky meter. Same concept as a panic meter, and we got some emojis to help illustrate our feelings towards those teams' futures. And we're gonna start off with the Miami Hurricanes. Miami Hurricanes, first 2 games of the season, they outscored their opponents 100-20, but ooh, man, that loss to Middle Tennessee, 45-31. It wasn't pretty.
No.
So now, AJ, we have to rank the spooky meter on how the rest of their season is going to look like. And me, I'm gonna have to say things are getting spooky. Things are getting spooky out in Miami. And they gotta worry.
Nah.
Oh, the Dookie.
Straight Dookie.
Hey, the Dookie is, there's nothing to worry about. Everybody relax. We're not talking spooky, we're talking Dookie. So explain to me why you think Miami should relax at this point in time.
It's Mario Cristobal's first year. I believe he's the right guy for that university, for the culture of Miami. He's an ex-player there, coach there, coming back to be the head coach. He will have this university and this program in the right direction. But I'm doing that off of for years to come. I don't really care about this year. It's first year, doesn't matter.
All right, so we're looking further into the future with your psychic powers during spooky season, but I'm looking towards this year, and I say it is spooky because there was a lot of hype surrounding this Miami team coming in. You have Tyler Van Dyke, a quarterback that people are considering to be one of the best in the ACC, and his performance has been subpar as we've seen so far. They have this bye week this week, and they have an opportunity to kind of settle things down and pick it up and put it together, but things are spooky, especially with the hype surrounding that team. Now, our next one that we're ranking from a state that you reside in. How about the Texas Longhorns? Week 2 versus Alabama looked good, but then week 4 versus Texas Tech did not look good. They lost 37-34, led by 2 touchdowns in the second half. AJ, where do you rate the Texas Longhorns on your spooky meter? Oh, I think we're around the same ones.
Exactly.
Let's show the viewer what we got. Straight face, baby. Explain to the viewer why you think we should relax with the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, I think they played Bama close, took them down to the wire, lost to a Texas Tech team that turned around today and played Kansas State close. I mean, they were back and forth all day long. A Kansas State team who put it on Oklahoma last week. So, listen, I think they're still a good team. They're not where they want to be right now, but I believe in Sark. I think Sark's going to get the Texas program turned around and back on the right track. So,
yeah, and one of the questions coming into this season for Texas was, how's Quinn Ewers going to play? We've seen this kid posting videos on the internet, throwing it on the air. The ball looks good coming out of his arm, but how does he look on the football field against real talent? We saw that arm talent against Alabama, and he was lighting it up. However, after sustaining the injury, we have not seen Quinn Ewers, and it's said that he's supposed to return this next coming week. So I do think that Texas does have a bright future looking forward. But our next team, how do they look? Michigan State Spartans on our spooky meter. I don't know if things are bright. 3 straight losses. They were ranked in the top 15 at one point this season, but they've just continued to fall. Year 3 for Mel Tucker. High expectations after being 11-2 in 2021. And the defense has been picked apart. They've let up 39 points and 34 points. And boy, do they miss Kenneth Walker. How do we feel about Michigan State's future from this point on? Things are getting spooky out in East Lansing. AJ, why do you feel that way? Why isn't it all the way to the spooky meter?
Yeah, I'm on the teetering on the edge right here of almost grabbing Casper, the non-friendly ghost. But listen, Michigan State's in a struggle right now. And the only reason I'm not going full-blown as spooky is because they still have some big games ahead. And it would be a Michigan State style to pull one of those games out to kind of just save the year a little.
You think they're going to put the whoopsie daisy and just turn this thing whole thing around?
Listen, I don't put anything past them. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So now if they stay on this bad path right here, it's going full level spooky for sure.
Yeah, and to your point of their schedule coming up, their next 4 games are Maryland, OSU, Wisconsin, and Michigan. So it most definitely does not get easier, but it does give them an opportunity to change things around and make it from spooky to dookie. Anyway, our next team is the Texas A&M. How are they doing? Because they had another loss today to Mississippi, 42-24. Special teams not getting the job done. Blocked field goal return for a touchdown. And as you know, they're struggling at the quarterback position.
Bad.
So, AJ, I know you have your feelings towards Texas A&M. I know what you wanted to do before the show. Will you rate?
I'm going 2 of them.
2 spooks.
I had to grab Scoobs to even have enough.
Why is that?
Listen, I keep saying it, but the offseason A&M had Jimbo Fisher going after the GOAT in Coach Saban, calling him out, the whole recruiting deal.
The beef.
Talking about how good your recruiting classes are and everything like. And then you're supposed to be this offensive genius, quarterback guru. You ain't done nothing.
Nada.
On offense and at the quarterback position all year. Get them out of here. Turn the place into a parking lot.
That's AJ's term right there. Turn it into a parking lot. But man, it is so disappointing to see what's been going on with Texas A&M. The expectations were high, over 50 4- and 5-star recruits, and they extended Jimbo already. So when you talk about should he be on the hot seat, yes. But did you see that contract? $83 million buyout.
Woo.
So he's not going anywhere, which is why it's getting spooky out over there. All right. We got one more thing, and it doesn't have to do with the team. It has to do with a certain date in the month of spookiness. October 15th, we got some key matchups. We got Penn State at Michigan, Clemson at FSU, USC at Utah. It is ranked the most impactful games for the playoff according to the FPI entering this weekend. There's going to be a lot of spookiness that week because things are going to change. So, how do we feel about it? Go ahead. AJ doesn't, he's not entertained. He's not entertained. These matchups aren't it for you? It doesn't do it for you?
Not at all. Not interested. Penn State, Michigan, both of those teams lose to Ohio State. Clemson at Florida State. Clemson wins that game. And USC at Utah. I'm in bed by that time.
Pac-12 after dark. I'm in bed. I will respectfully disagree with the Penn State at Michigan game. I said it a couple weeks ago. I think Penn State has a great chance to be in that playoff conversation if they continue to go down this path. Michigan, undefeated versus undefeated, Big Ten matchup. We're all going to have our eyes on it. Who knows if it'll be an entertaining game or not. But this was an entertaining show, AJ. As always, my boy.
I might have one eye on it, Scoop.
Well, thank you for watching. This has been the wrap-up presented by ALLSTATE. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Peace.